さて活動を開始した頃はあまりパッとしなかったマイ・ブラディ・バレンタインですが、今はこの国で一番影響力のあるバンドにまで成長しました。スローダイブ、チャプターハウス、ティーンエイジファンクラブ、ペイルセインツ、ライド、ウィッピングボーイ、ブーラドリーズなどのすべてがマイ・ブラディ・バレンタインから影響を受けたと認めております。彼らはターミナル EP という新譜を出したところでして、評価たちは大絶賛しております。ちなみにメロディーメーカー氏はこれを贅沢なわがままと付け加えました。バンドのソングライターでありボーカリストのケビン・シールズが人気のある理由を語ってくれました。それではですね、この後マイ・ブラディ・バレンタインでのミロクリップです。
All seem to name check you as the greatest influence on their lives and careers over the last couple of years. I mean, does that surprise you, or does that?
I wouldn't say all of those bands. I'd say maybe a couple of them, maybe one or two, but I wouldn't. I'd say a few members of certain bands. To be totally accurate, I would say that'd be the case. That'd be true, but in general, it's like, you know, I don't. Nobody's actually just like copying us. Basically, a lot of bands seem to be inspired by a lot of things we've done. We've been getting reviews and stuff since '85, and for 3 years, mostly it was really bad, and we were basically completely like torn apart by the press for about 3 years, and mixed in with the odd good, you know, interview here and there, and with the odd good review. But about 2/3 of the press we got was all really bad. So, you know, we weren't given any leeway. We were completely torn apart for such a long time that's why we couldn't ever take anything good said about us too seriously, because when you just read bad stuff about you all the time, then you read good stuff, all it does is balance itself out. It's not like, say, you know, we're a new band who never had any press and it's all good. Then it becomes a bit unreal, because you've got nothing to compare it to. But I mean, basically, no one did us any favours for years until we made music that people liked, you know.
Yeah, so how come all of a sudden they did like you?
Because we made better music.
So there wasn't anything that happened to you or to the group personally that forced this? Because it seemed to be quite a sudden change, sort of late.
No, it wasn't really. It wasn't. It was just that the band had only been together for 3 months when we made the first record with me and Belinda singing, and we hadn't a clue and we didn't know what we were doing. And it was just like a big demo tape. We did it in 11 days, recorded and mixed that stuff that came out on Lazy, and then we'd been together for about 9 months or so when You Made Realise. So that's when we were actually a band. We played together a bit and we got an idea about what we wanted to do. Main reason why there's been big gaps and stuff is all to do with the studios and stuff, you know. I just don't like a lot of studios.
Right. But do you get, I mean, does inspiration hit you quite often, or is it just once in a blue moon?
I get it every day, but it's just that then some asshole in a studio gives me a hard time and it puts me in a bad mood, so I don't do anything. People say, oh, I'm something like a perfectionist or something, you know, but I'm not, you know, at all. It's just a case of it's not very good, and then I just try and make it good, you know, just good enough.
Have you ever dreamt about a brilliant song that sounds absolutely perfect, and then when you wake up, you've tried to, you know, recreate that in the studio and it hasn't happened?
Well, yeah, all the time. I mean, but I don't really dream about it. I just think about it. I just think up things, and actually putting things that you can think up in your head into practice is often like, you know, it seems to be impossible, because you actually think in a completely 3D sort of. Every sound has got related to a sort of image as well, and to take that and put it into a real, you know, flat, two-dimensional, you know, sort of medium, it can often just seem much lesser than what you imagine in your head. I think we'd maybe like to infiltrate primary schools, you know, because I think kids are probably going to be a bit more open-minded to what we're doing than a lot of older people.
Yeah, do you get a lot of primary school children at My Bloody Valentine concerts?
No, we don't, but I just think that what we do is often just seen as weird to people who've got a lot of preconceptions. When people haven't got a lot of preconceptions, it doesn't seem at all weird. It just seems, because generally speaking, there's a lot of melodies and stuff that are quite traditionally catchy, you know. It's just the context of how we put things sometimes that people find a bit odd.
Right.
So I think I would imagine that kids wouldn't find it so weird. I think we're the only band I know that literally has no one's has any say in what we do at all. I think I'm not too sure. There could be a few others, but I don't know who they are.
Right.
Nearly every other band is somebody's opinion about how their record sounds directly affects what they put out. You know, and that's most bands seem a bit like that.
Would you rather give up and do exactly what you wanted to do if somebody started putting
No,
pressures on you?
well, I mean, this band's just purely exists to do what we want to do, and when I'm older and if I feel like making tons of money, I can use all my inside knowledge and experience to sort of manipulate the market. You know, myself. I don't need anyone doing it to me. You know, I'll just use this band as just exists to do what we want to do, and when we feel like making tons of money, we'll just break up and do something else.